It's been a weird old season in Newcastle. I have been top briefly and I have been outside the top 4 briefly, but I've never really felt like this season was heading anywhere other than a top 4 finish. Until now. And that is because for the first time this season, we've lost 2 games in a row. One of those was an FA Cup draw, but in a game where morale matters, 2 losses in a row could be dangerous. But since we last met, of course, the 4-1 victory over Everton, in which Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored twice against his former team and probably prompted a bunch of people to pick him up in fantasy football, he has then proceeded to annoy them by not scoring since then. So Maximan got plenty of points, though, with a bunch of assists and a couple of goals. He scored the goal of the month against Manchester UFC at the very beginning of February. We dispatched Doncaster. Liverpool we lost to in the league. Man City we beat, though. Gagliardini and Mings scoring there. Mings is now on 11 goals, by the way. He scored against West Ham as well. He's top scorer. Gagliardini Adeyemi dealt with Brentford in the league and Bournemouth. 3 goals there. Soulé, Maximan and Adeyemi again. Before we lost to West Ham. Again. We have 0 points against West Ham this year. They're our league bogey team, but Brentford, by God, they are just our general rival at this point. We've been knocked out of the Cups by Liverpool and Brentford this year. Last year, we were knocked out by Liverpool and Brentford. Just the other way around this time. Liverpool knocked us out of the FA Cup last year, they knocked us out of the Carabao this year, and Brentford vice versa. It's a weird parallel, and I don't appreciate it. But despite losing a couple of times in the league, we did do fairly well otherwise. Leaves us in 4th. Man UFC, 8 points behind. A little bit of a gap has opened up there. So whilst we have lost 2 games in a row, and I'm concerned morale-wise that this is about to go off a cliff, and we're going to fully Leicester this situation, we are in a good position. Ronaldo and Lewandowski have 28 goals apiece after 28 games. Actually, Lewandowski's only played 27. Liverpool have played 1 game less. It's insane. Andy Robertson's on a 7.72 average rating. 7.72 from a left-back. Dream world for me, that. But Liverpool did win the Carabao Cup, so in theory, depending on who ends up in the FA Cup final, 7th would still be Europe, which is probably nice for Leicester/Wolves in that situation. Actually, West Ham, Aston Villa, Spurs, not far behind in that world either. It's very much a top 11 and then a bottom 9 this year. But as you saw there, I'm not actually bringing you Chelsea. I did realise that Sheffield United and Chelsea were either side of an international break, and because we lost to Brentford, there's no FA Cup quarter-final, which might have popped in around here, which would have been nice. So I'm bringing you Brighton and Sheffield United away from home, 2 teams towards the bottom of the table, 2 teams to get this season back on track again. I state that. It's only been 1 league loss, but we need to make sure we stabilise this season and end in that top 4. These are 2 very important games. The position of the opponents does not matter. We do need to win these. Although Sheffield United have won 1 match all year, they're having another one of those seasons. Arsenal beat Spurs in the earlier kickoff. Arsenal still top, although Liverpool 2 games in hand. Now we are in a position where we need to do a tiny bit of rotation. Hateboer has returned from injury, but he has played a few games in a row since he's come back. So Mbabu will start a right back, Soulé, Mings and Digne complete the back line, of course. Nianzou, Gagliardini, Willock in the middle. Benacer is just a little bit tired, as is Sam Maximan, so it's going to be Boga and Adeyemi, and Calvert-Lewin will be up front. Whilst he's not scored in a month, neither has Sesko. So I'll stick with Dominic because on paper, he should be the better player. And I may have just made a joke about dreaming of Andy Robertson's left-back average rating. Digne's last 5, 7 is the average rating for Digne there. And that includes a sending off and a 5.9. He's been rather good in the last 4. Also, Kelleher needs to return to the bench because he was cup-tied for the cup match. I should just say, as you can see from here though, I did rotate a reasonable amount against Brentford in the FA Cup there. It's not like I put in bad players. Sesko, Elliott, Zagadou. It wasn't massively rotated. It should still have been enough to beat Brentford, but alas, we did not. Perhaps I shouldn't have taken my top goal scorer out and put Sorry, I can't keep a straight face when I'm talking about Tyrone Mings as the top goal scorer. The ITV Sport correspondent is called Andy Andrews. Please tell me these are randomly generated names and this isn't the case for everyone, because that's ridiculous. Brighton have a curious team. They've not made too many changes. There's a Santos on the right-hand side and a Carbonic at left-back, and they have acquired Ross Barkley as well. Permanently, I think. Probably to replace Lallana. Oh, there's Soulé at the back post from a long throw. There's a weird kind of antagonistic feeling towards long throw goals. They don't happen very often. Soulé's 4 goals have all been long throws, and this is his 4th. It's not like it's happening all the time. And I don't mind it when it's like that because it's not like the goalkeeper can't get to it. He's just decided not to for some reason. Most of the time, the goalkeeper does catch it. I was about to say nothing else has happened in this half, but there's a late back post free kick, which hits the crossbar. Yeah, back post is still an issue. But Calvert-Lewin actually on the rebound. I do suspect the crossbar was the highlight of this. But Calvert-Lewin still going. Boga's there. No one really for him to go to. Willock on the edge of the box has a go. Oh, he scored, actually. There was still something a part of that. Wow. The game really baited me there. So we take the ball from the crossbar of our own goal all the way up the other end and score. Really wasn't expecting it. I will be real with you. Was not expecting this. Joe Willock, edge of the box. Thwack. No matter what you're feeling about long throws, there's a legitimate goal for you. Well, that's going in the goal of the month running, that's for sure. Trossard, corner, back post, headed over. The problem isn't like some kind of weird accuracy glitch for the headers at the back post. It's the fact that defenders don't jump. Like, they don't challenge for it anywhere near as strongly as they should. Anyway, the new highlight here, Casteels has saved a relatively tame shot and just punted it straight over to Dominic. First goal in over a month, Dominic? Nope. Nope. Take it round the goalkeeper, Dom. Take it round, Gagliardini, near post. There's our top goal scorer. Still doesn't get any less ridiculous, does it? Now, over an hour in, we've got to be thinking of fitness changes more than anything. Adeyemi's tired, Willock's tired, Soule's tired. I don't really know why. He's a central defender. They're usually fairly exempt from getting tired, unless you play them literally every game, 3 games apart. Casteels with a good save there. I've been relatively impressed with Casteels. I know I signed him because I was impressed with him in a draft, but I have been impressed with Casteels in the game so far. I've not really felt like he's made too many odd choices that have led to goals. I feel like every goal that's gone in has either been engine-based or just unsavable, or both. Anyway, Barkley on the edge of the box. Here's another cracker. Great save again. I think he's conceded 20 goals in 28 games, which is pretty good. And I would argue about 2 of those probably shouldn't have gone in. I'm in a tricky situation here because I can't bring on Hateboer because both Mbabu and Hateboer are on yellow card warnings. Both of them will be suspended if they pick up a yellow card, so I can't bring on Hateboer in case he gets one as well. So for the last however many minutes this is, Sesko's going to play a few minutes, I think, up front. I'm not seeing a lot from Calvert-Lewin here, but I will praise. Dini's on the 7.4 again, and a fairly uneventful remainder of the game. Brighton not without their chances in this match. In fact, pretty identical on the old stat front. Well done, lads. That was a good win for us. The assistant's saying it, and I want to say it too. It cannot be underestimated how important that win was to stop any morale drops. You never looked entirely comfortable. That's true. It was very even. Hang on. Klopp's looking. Who's he looking at? Oh, he's Loney. That's fine. It gets concerning when one of the traditional top 6 teams is looking at your players. I just noticed that Man City scored 2 goals in injury time. They didn't matter. They were winning anyway. But there was a match recently where 2 players were sent off in injury time for the same club. I think it was Southampton. Yeah, against Liverpool. Perot and Lianco sent off 90+4 and 90+5. I don't know how that's possible. They're both double yellows, actually, but they had an interesting January. Why was one of the prompts the future of Nicolas Soule? You've consistently defied expectations this season and are making an impressive late climb up the league. Curious definition of late there, Adam. We've been in the top 4 all year, pretty much. Okay, it's just a general question about his future. There's no one declaring interest. That's fine, we're good. Mild panic. I thought I'd have a brief little nosy at the season predictions, because we did start this season predicted 6th and 33-1. We have inched up slightly, 20-1 and 5th. Arsenal, though, who are top of the table, don't forget, behind us in 6th, predicted 25-1. Norwich predicted 33 somehow. I don't know how Norwich have usurped Spurs, but they have. They still have Gian Lunas as their best left back, but Edouard has been brought in. They brought in Edouard for 19 million, which is a fairly good deal, I think, for a relegated Crystal Palace, and also Will Hughes from Crystal Palace too. Hang on, they brought Diego Costa in on a free. There's a sentence right next to me here, which I've never thought I'd read, which is, pleased to have joined Norwich from Diego Costa. I mean, he can't move, but those mentals are insane. Speaking of Norwich, I was tempted to bring Tim Krul back. He was available for £40,000, you can see there. He went to PAOK in the end, but that went through before I could even put a bid in for him. I'll be honest with you, the inbounds there, I'm not really seeing how that's improved them to a 33-1 idea here. Also, John Carver's in charge. I don't know if he joined as assistant manager in the real world in 2021 or not. I don't think I've seen him on their sidelines, but he became assistant manager in game and then caretaker manager. Pretty certain they sacked Falk recently. Yeah, 15 days ago. Because they might be predicted 7th, but they are 15th. As Man UFC dropped more points and there's a 10-point gap to 5th now, with 9 games remaining. Oh no, Callum Wilson is not playing enough games for Tottenham Hotspur. Whatever will I do with a mandatory future fee of $9.5 million at the end of this? Don't inform me again. Dear Sports Interactive, if they've got a mandatory future fee on their loan, I don't care how much they're playing. Also, as I just had one of them come through, the fortnightly staff meeting review things, can I just have that as a reporter's standard? I know I can change the frequency of the meetings, but I can't change it so that it's just a reporter's standard. It's a little bit annoying having to press that button every time. Speaking of Man UFC, that happened, by the way. They sacked Solskjaer for being 5th. I actually don't know if Man UFC have got a new manager yet. Oh no, that happened very quickly and very recently. I thought I'd just show you this because it just appeared at the bottom of my loading bar. Goals from corners. You might think my tactic is overpowered, but not that much. I mean, it is 13 of our 48 goals opposed to Liverpool's 13 out of 74, but Man City have scored 12 from 56, so that's not that far behind in terms of ratio. West Brom have scored 7 corner goals from 29, which I think is actually about the same ratio. But this is the most crucial thing of all, 23 conceded from 29. Ah, there's youth intake, and there's the one good player that we were predicted to have, although I could have sworn it was the striker that we were predicted to have decent in. But we might have a fairly competent centre-back. He's been listed as a left-back, but he's only full natural as centre-back. He's 5'11", but he's also 15, so might grow. Yeah, sure. Okay then, so Sheffield United, a match I knew I was going to have to do because it's this year's beta team against last year's beta team. Mbabu suspended, so had to ball, obviously, and then the third choice right back has just got injured. Good timing, mate. But just before an international break, there's no reason to rotate, even though this is Sheffield United and 20th place Sheffield United. But with an international break next, we get to go full first team. Hatbour might be lower in the star ratings, but that is affected by recent performances, and he's been injured, so that's why his star rating has gone down. It's nothing to do with ability. Casteels, Digne, Mings, Sule, Hatbour, Nianzao, Benacer, Willock, Saint-Maximin, Adeyemi, and Calvert-Lewin up front against his original club, of course, and the team that we brought him to last year, where he did so well for less money. Cost me 40 million, I think, last year. 42 million. I think that might be the right number, 42. Of course, that's the answers to life, universe, and everything. Of course, it's 42 million. But of course, I had to bring you this match whilst they're actually in the Premier League again for a season. Looks like they're going straight back down again. Quarantine Tolisso might be relegated from the Premier League. I do feel like Tolisso probably could have gone to a better team than Sheffield United. I don't know how he ended up here. But Mings, near post, doesn't get to it. Bogle, bizarrely the most advanced player from that corner almost. He's got an option on this far left-hand side, which is not being dealt with at all. Sort of covered now, but Pedro's in the middle now, unmarked, and gets to it. Which Pedro is that? I think that might be the Watford Pedro. It is not at all. It is a Flamenco Pedro / Fiorentina Pedro. Seems alright, seems to have also maxed out his potential. Threading first half. I'm just going to tell him I'm far from pleased and get on with it. What's the possession like? 40, 60? We'll bring it up a notch. We'll go a little bit more attacking. Just encourage the lads. I mean, we're having the odd chance. The XG's gone up. Saint-Maximin near post, of course. Mings is there. It's 12, but push. It's got to be a push because he can't be offside. Sorry, did Adeyemi stray offside? Adeyemi's not involved. Thank you. Goal awarded. Oh, there's an Adeyemi. I think that might be Adeyemi in front of the goalkeeper there. But goal rightly given, and Adeyemi's actually going to come off now. He's the most tired and the worst player on the pitch right now. Benitez booked, so we might as well take him off. Gagliardini's around. Gagliardini, of course, who we also had at Sheffield United as well. It's 2 players returning to their last year's haunts, as Sule actually nearly does score another throw-in. Willock now tired. I'm actually going to bring Barco on in that position as the Mazzala. It's not too dissimilar to an inverted winger, the Mazzala role. So he's actually fairly competent at it. I actually put Barco on the bench just in case I needed someone to play right back. He can't play it, but he's right-footed, and sometimes wingers can make good fullbacks. I don't know what happened here, but we clearly had 5 consecutive shots, which really should have gone in, and then we scored from a corner. Although that might just be one really good chance. We weren't at our best, but we got the result, and that, frankly, is all that matters at this point. That was a really impressive performance, even considering your recent form. I mean, it wasn't that good. So Taro Mings gets goal number 12. So it looks like everyone has played this weekend that matters. There's one more game tomorrow, but it's Bournemouth versus Leeds, and they're both down here, so they don't affect us at all. Which means we go into this international break in third, but having played a game more than Manchester City, who are only 2 points behind us. So if they win that game in hand, of course, they will go back ahead of us because their goal difference is significantly better. Shout out to Wolves in 6th with a goal difference of 0. Meanwhile, Leicester in 8th with a goal difference of 14. I love bonkers goal differences. Chelsea have a negative goal difference. Chelsea. But realistically, our last 2 games of the season against Spurs and Arsenal, I'll probably bring you back for them. 6 crucial points today leaves us 13 points clear of Man UFC, but they do play again. So 10 points clear net if they do win that game in hand. I'm back to feeling fairly confident this is going to be a top 4 finish. So unless there's any late drama in this season, last 2 games of the season and season wrap up next time round, just to see how well we can finish. Of course, if calamities do occur and it does look like we might drop out of the top 4 again, I'll bring you back slightly earlier. Hopefully that won't be the case. Until next time, thank you for watching. Ta-ra.